Manga-Waido.
I'm Masashi Okada, 30 years old. My father graduated from a famous medical university and works as a general practitioner. My mother is a nurse and supports my father devotedly. My sister is also a doctor, and after working at a general hospital, she began helping out at our family hospital. I was the only one who was not good enough. Everyone in my family is smart, but I've always been a bit of a disappointment. Even after 2 years of studying, I couldn't get into the medical school of my choice, so I entered a mediocre university where I majored in literature.
Masashi, I'm sorry I forced you to study all this time.
I'm sorry we pushed you too hard wanting you to take over.
Yoko says she'll take over. You follow the path that you want to take.
My parents never gave up on me. My sister was also kind to me, saying,
You've done well.
if my talented sister takes over the hospital, I'm sure things will go even better than they are now. This was the best choice. Even though I knew this, it was hard for me to stay home because I felt inferior and unworthy for not living up to my parents' expectations. I left home when I started working and began living alone in an apartment near work. The work was hard, but at home, I was able to relax without worrying about anyone else. I felt a little peace of mind. But those days ended after a few years. The company went bankrupt. I'm 30 years old from a mediocre university. I had no achievements or qualifications. This combined with the recession made it difficult to find a new job, and my savings were dwindling rapidly. But I'm the one who decided to leave home. I can't rely on my parents now. I continued my frantic job search and managed to find a temporary job.
Hey! You haven't finished the documents yet!
Do it quickly! If you're useless, I'll cut your contract.
Yes, sir, I'm sorry. I'll get right on it. I had to work over lunch break and was forced to do odd jobs after clocking out. I was treated poorly, but if they cut my contract, I didn't know what would happen next. I worked hard. Then my mother told me,
Come home because it's your grandma's memorial service.
it's been a long time since I've been home. To be honest, I was relieved, but there was an unfamiliar face there.
Nice to meet you. I'm Kenichi Hirakawa. I'm dating Yoko.
He was my sister's fiance.
Kenichi will be doing the same. He says he'll work here with Yoko.
I see. Then our house is in good hands. Great. Kenichi was a friendly and nice guy. I could have had 1 or 2 girlfriends too if I had been as charismatic as him. A temporary worker at the bottom of the barrel and a handsome doctor, when we were together, I couldn't help but feel inferior. I decided to leave early.
You're leaving already? You should at least have some dinner.
I have an early day tomorrow. Well then.
Masashi, I'll take you to the station. I've got a car, so...
I refused, but Kenichi said,
It's fine, it's fine.
and pushed me into his luxury car. I thought he was a nice guy, but I was wrong.
Masashi, what do you do for a living?
I work for, Wide Incorporated.
That's a prestigious company. Awesome.
No, I'm a temp. My previous company went bankrupt so recently. Kenichi's expression changed when I told him that.
Huh. A temp. I don't mean to be rude, but you're already in your 30s, right? Aren't you ashamed of being a dispatched worker?
Well, I don't have a choice. It's better to just have a job.
I'm not excited about having a relative who's a bottom feeder with no ambition like you, Masashi. I think the hospital's reputation would suffer if it were known that someone like you was a relative. Can you please not show your face at the family house too much?
What? I was surprised at these words. As I got out of the car, he added,
I'm just kidding.
but he definitely meant that. A man like that marrying my sister? He's going to take over the house? But it's true that I'm at the bottom of the barrel. I guess he's more suitable for my family than someone like me, who's a failure since he has a respectable title as a doctor. He was a nice young man in front of my sister and father, after all. I was torn, but in the end, I decided not to tell anyone about what he told me. Besides, my work was so busy that I didn't have time to think about him. And I was exhausted both physically and mentally from working overtime to the last train every day. I'm so tired. I'll buy some prepared foods and go home. That day, they told me to hurry up and deliver it, so I was on my way home from taking something to a client. My boss told me I could go home directly, so I was walking to the station. Who is that? A woman found slumped on a park bench. Are you alright? You don't look well. Should I call an ambulance?
Shut up! Leave me alone! You're just talking to me with ulterior motives.
It's not like that. It's cold today and it's getting late.
You're a condescending jerk! Don't try to take advantage of me like that! I know that all men are scum!
She seemed to be drunk. She stood up unsteadily and tried to grab me by the chest, but she wobbled and was about to fall down. I supported her as quickly as I could. Where's home? Should I take you?
No, not my home!
I'll take you to the police station then.
No police! No, you can't do that!
She turned pale and started shaking. Something must have happened. The woman must have felt uncomfortable. She turned over and stopped talking. I had no choice but to get a cab to take her to my parents' house. When I arrived 5 minutes later, the hospital out of hours had turned pitch black and silent. I rang the intercom and my sister and father came out.
Don't worry, she's just very drunk.
Wait, but look at this, Dad.
Oh,
Masashi, did she say anything?
She said she doesn't want to go home and she doesn't want to tell the police either. The woman then woke up, and after being surprised to find herself in the hospital, she bowed her head repeatedly. The woman's name was Aya Sano.
I'm sorry to have bothered you. No, more importantly, that bruise.
It's nothing!
you stated that you don't want to go home, correct? If you tell us why, we may be able to help you.
Don't worry. My father and sister are both doctors, and they won't hurt you.
Yes, we are on your side.
Aya told the story of how she arrived at the park in tears. She said her husband called her useless on a daily basis, sometimes throwing things at her and pushing her away.
He would yell at me saying, "You cook such lousy meals!" He also threw away my things without my permission and broke them. This is the bruise I got from falling down the stairs when I tried to avoid him as he was about to hurt me.
Aya-san's parents had passed away, and she had no relatives to rely on, so she endured the situation. But she reached her limit, and with the help of alcohol, she ran out of the house. My father then called the police. She was evacuated to a shelter. We were worried about her, but we were strangers, and that's all we could do. After that, I continued to work overtime, wondering what had happened to her. One day, 2 months later, I received an email from Aya. Aya-san got her divorce finalized.
Really? That's good to hear.
Thanks for everything. It's thanks to you and Dad that Aya was saved. Tell Dad I said thanks too.
What are you talking about? She was saved because you protected her. Your kindness saved Aya.
A few days later, Aya visited the hospital to express her gratitude. After a conversation with my sister, she ended up working as a clerical worker at the hospital.
I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for me.
No, I didn't do anything. More importantly, I'm glad you're feeling better. You look much better than before.
Yes, I'm having a great time every day now.
I wish I could say with all my heart that life was fun like Aya-san. As I was walking home from checking on Aya-san. What's with you? You're here again? I told you before that I don't want to see a bottom feeder's face. Have you forgotten that already? Kenichi, I've been trying to avoid medium. Bad luck. I'm leaving now, if you'll excuse me. Wait a minute. I wanted to ask you something. What would that be? Is that Aya really a domestic violence victim? Isn't she just some cabaret girl you're into who asked you for some work? What? There's no way that's possible! I don't know. Even clerks get paid well here. They say that the people at the bottom use the most underhanded methods that we, the upper class, can't even think of. What did you say? What did I do to deserve this? I was about to lose my temper and my fist clenched tight. If I'd had a few more seconds, I would have punched him, but...
Why would you say such terrible things?
Aya-san! That's my umbrella! Apparently she came to deliver the umbrella I forgot.
Masashi-san is at the bottom? He is a fine person who helped me!
Huh? What's with this woman? He's a bottom feeder. What's wrong with saying the truth?
Please, apologize to Masashi-san!
Her angry voice made my father and sister, who were on lunch break, come out to see what was going on. This is, Aya-san told him everything that had happened while Kenichi was in a panic.
Is that how you always look down on Masashi?
No, it's just a misunderstanding!
What misunderstanding? Masashi doesn't talk much, and he always goes home quickly when you're around, so I've been wondering. But this must be the reason.
Kenichi, you disappoint me.
Father, it's not like that.
No excuses! I won't let someone who can't take care of his family take over this place. Don't call me father.
People like you will undermine the hospital's credibility. I'm breaking off the engagement. I want you to leave this place too.
No!
Kenichi was then kicked out by my furious sisters and disappeared. Apparently, he was just wooing my sister for our assets. He also borrowed money from many people, saying that he would be able to pay back the money as soon as he got married. My sister told me through a friend that he had found a new job at a hospital in a rural area, but was having a very hard time making ends meet. Oh well, he deserves it. I was then hired by another temp agency as a full-time employee, and was freed from my days of overtime work. My father said to me,
I should have paid more attention to you so that you wouldn't feel inferior. I'm sorry. From now on, feel free to visit us at any time.
and I started going to my parents' house frequently. I also got to know Aya-san better, and things were looking good.
I heard from Yoko-san that Masashi-san likes it, so I made it.
What? You made this dish by hand? Wow, it looks like it was made by a pro.
I made a lot, so please take some home if you'd like.
Thank you. I'm so happy.
You can't carry all that by yourself, can you? Aya, I'm sorry, but please, take him home.
Dad?
You can stay over if you want. You can come into work from the afternoon.
Even you, sis? That'll be a nuisance to Aya-san.
I don't mind.
What? It'll be 2 years before Aya and I get married, like my sister wanted. Anyway, I've regained my confidence because of this experience, and I don't want to feel uncomfortable whenever I go back to my parents' house anymore. I'm 30 now, but I'm still 30. This is just the beginning.